Hey y'all, so it is a little over the first week of the Halloweenathon. As you know, I got sick during the worst time possible, which is the first week of October, and it has put me back, but I have been spending this last weekend getting back on my feet to try and get into the Halloweenathon, get into my own trick or sweet challenge, getting all my stuff out there that I plan to get out there. Luckily, I am getting my health back and I'm feeling much better. And so I'm a little late on it, but I plan on doing these check-ins as we move through the Halloweenathon. One, to remind you about the Halloweenathon, but also just to give you like these fun updates on what I've been watching and reading during this Halloween. One, for the Halloweenathon, but also just for myself. While I was sick, I had nothing else better to do. Let me binge some movies and watch some series and stuff, which was on my bucket list to do anyways. I kind of watch the same horror films every single year all the time because when I like something, I love it. I watched The Fly, best movie ever. Y'all, it deserves all of its accolades. I was in it. It was just, storytelling was amazing. Conversations of body autonomy were out of this world. It was last August. I did a article for Night Terror about practical effects in horror films, and The Fly was one of them. And knowing what happened and what had to go into that movie, and then finally watching the actual full film, I clapped after the film was done. I've never done something like that, like clapped at home once a film finished. That's how amazing it was. Another one that wasn't amazing, like it was corny, but I get it. I get why there's a whole cult around it. The Crow, the original The Crow. I love that film. It's emo, but in this way that's like hilarious, like because it knows it is. Like how the Batman cartoons and stuff are, where like he knows he's emo, like, but they play with it. Like it's not like a bad thing or anything. It knew what it was, and it wasn't trying to be anything else, and I appreciated that. I really love that. I watched Barbarian for the first time, and what I think I found out is I am not a Zach Krieger girl. I wasn't into weapons like that. Like I laughed my butt off at the end of Weapons, and I wasn't really into the movie itself when we went to go watch it. I hadn't seen a lot of Zach Krieger before that anyways, and so I know so many people have said Barbarian's amazing. Y'all, I wasn't really impressed because personally, I feel like this is a conversation of casting. To have a lead be a black woman making the decisions she was making in that film, I don't think that she would ever made those decisions as a black woman watching that film. And because I was sitting there and I was like, that's not realistic, like at all. Like she would not make those decisions. She would not put herself in that situation. I couldn't move on from any other thing that was happening throughout the film. And there wasn't enough character build up for her for me to even remove like a very generalized idea of like somebody from my own community making those decisions. But one thing I also noticed is that anybody who recommends that movie to me is not a black woman. So I also think that this is a conversation of an audience standpoint and how black women aren't really talked about or recognized as much as they should be when taking into consideration horror films like these. I watched The Thing finally. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I definitely get the whole hype behind that now too. I think that the whole conversation of which person is the thing at the end, I think it's kind of obvious who it is, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just like alone, or maybe some people are overthinking it. But again, I'm glad that I finally watched The Thing. That was another movie that I watched that that I talked about and I did a lot of research on in regards to the practical effects that were within that film that are just out of this world. I watched Alien for the very first time. I have tried to get through Alien multiple times, but it is just so long for me personally. And even after I got to the end, I'm glad that I finally did. I think it was amazing. I think especially if I was around when it first came out, I get like why people's minds were blown. It was just so long. The Interview with the Vampire series, I binged that. Louis the problem. I think that I realized Louis the problem, and now I need to go back and watch season 1 because now I'm looking at Lestat differently, because I think that really, Louis, you may be the issue and you got a temper. Like we need to talk about it. I also think that the recasting for Claudia, amazing, very rare, and I think a lot of fans of the show have all agreed like it was amazing and this is just casting done really well. I think that's it. Oh my gosh, I watched so much during that time though that I was sick, and it was a blur because I was in and out of sleeping. It did catch me up on a lot for Halloweenathon. So let's quickly talk about what I covered on my bingo board for the Halloweenathon. Castle Rock Antiques, which was go to a thrift store and window shop or purchase a Halloween treasure. Yesterday I went to the thrift store and I did not purchase anything Halloween related, but I did window shop, so we're counting that. I then also finished Black and White, watch a movie, read a book that was released before you were born. I watched many things that were for that, but I just chose The Thing as one of them. The night he came home, read or watch a book or movie with a house or building of some kind on the cover or poster. I finished Amityville Horror this last week. That, I have a lot of feelings regarding that. So y'all will have to tune into my wrap up at the end of this month to hear how I feel about that book. I get the hype, but a lot of thoughts in regards to that being a true event. That's all I'm gonna say. Dracula, read a classic, watch a classic. I'm saying The Fly is a classic. I feel like, I mean, The Fly is a classic, The Thing is a classic, Alien is a classic. I did watch The Wolfman Meets Frankenstein, but I wasn't really paying much attention, to be honest with you, so I didn't count it entirely, but I'm going to count The Fly as a classic. Hocus Pocus, watch a Disney or family-friendly movie with spooky vibes. Me and my partner watched Hocus Pocus sometime last week or earlier this week. We watched a Halloween movie and then he picked that movie. So love hurts, read a book or watch a movie chosen by your significant other or friend. So that covered that prompt. That is all I've been doing for the last week for the Halloween-a-thon. I am blowing through my prompts. I think the hardest thing is just kind of moving through my books. I've already finished 2 or 3 from my TBR, but I know that it's a very long TBR and some of them are physical reads, so I really need to kick it into high gear if I plan on finishing by the end of this month. But movies, I feel really good about, and I'm really happy that I'm finding a lot of new favorites. That has been a really big thing for me, especially as I've been getting into physical media and we've been collecting a lot more DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS in our house. I'm very happy though to finally be feeling a lot better so that I can start participating more actively, and also to be getting you guys my Trick or Sweet challenge on the days that I said that I would get them to you instead of days after. But I am really happy to see that y'all are enjoying those a lot. I really appreciate all the support you've been giving me on those, and I hope that you all are having a great Halloween time. I will see y'all in another week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.